Aaron.
I'm Alex.
And we're two in the booth. This is the pre-4th of July spectacular, which is why we're both dressed in patriotic garb on this, edition leading up to 4th of... Oh, wait, never mind. If you're watching the video version of this podcast, you'll see Alex is very Marlins-esque looking in his attire.
Some would call
back to St. Patty's Day.
Some would call it Irish.
Yes.
We got a lot of
stuff. Got a lot of stuff to talk about today.
Yeah.
Alex was across the pond, as they say, in the northern parts of this country, into northern parts of another country to watch baseball and get the international experience. He's going to share that with us. And we also have some hot stuff going on in baseball. One player in particular seems to be very perturbed right now.
Yes.
And just very on the cusp of just lashing out at anyone and everyone that he can as he's going through a bit of a rough spell. And we also have all-star game stuff coming down the pike. So lots of things to talk through. But the biggest, the best, the most amazing piece of this segment is going to be, what is it like to go to an international experience of baseball?
Yeah. So I had the opportunity to go Friday night and Saturday night to Rogers Centre, the name of the stadium for the Toronto Blue Jays. It's Rogers Centre, but it's Centre. Which kind of encapsulates everything about my experience, because when you're in Canada, there's lots of it that feels like America, but there's just like 6 degrees of separation between the American experience and the Canadian experience. And you just kind of feel like you're in a simulation with all these people that you're like, we should probably, have a kindred spirit of sorts. And it turns out like, I don't know what to think about you, and you probably don't know what to think about me, kind of a feel. But
couple serious questions. Did they have a Toys R Us nested in the Rogers Centre?
They did not.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, it was. So Rogers Centre was they redid the whole inside of the stadium in the last few years, and so it's been upgraded, and quite frankly, like, it was probably the most enjoyable couple of days in of baseball watching that I've had. Couple things. One, they've got the retractable roof there at Rogers Centre, and both nights they opened up the roof before the game. The CN Tower, which kind of stands like the Seattle Sky Needle right above the city, stands right next to Rogers Centre, and so when you open it up, you have the tower that's like over top of the stadium looking right down kind of on you, which is really cool.
Nice.
The food game, the food game in Toronto was strong.
By that you mean poutine?
Yeah, that Asian cuisine.
Wait, did you go to Toronto, Japan, or Toronto, Canada?
No, Toronto, Canada, Toronto, Ontario. They had every ballpark would have like a ballpark frank as their standard issue hot dog or something like that. Their standard issue hot dog is a foot long hot dog. They sell that at multiple locations. You can get poutine at multiple locations. I'm a big fan of Mary Brown's poutine. Mary Brown's poutine is fantastic. Portions are larger in the stadium, which means you get more bang for your buck. But the coolest thing, everybody knows.
Hold on. Do they take bucks at the Rogers Centre, or did you have to convert over to
Canadian beavers?
To Canadian currency.
Yeah, Canadian beavers, and so that's what they take there. And the best thing about the food experience for me, everybody knows you go to the stadium, you get a drink, and they're like, hey, do you want the standard issue paper cup, or do you want like the souvenir cup? Well, this will blow your mind. If you get the souvenir cup, which is about the same you pay in America, it's unlimited refills for the rest of the game anywhere in the stadium. So you just take it as soon as you just have it, you just hand it over and they'll fill it up and they'll do it free of charge for the rest of the game. And that's something immediately that needs to be adopted in every American ballpark. I think there's a lot that major league teams in America can learn from the generosity of the Canadian spirit, which ultimately apparently has led them to make the decision where you had you buy the souvenir cup and then you get refills the whole time. It enhances the baseball going experience exponentially right off the jump.
Does.
And I noticed more than one guy because they were giving out they were like throwback powder blue cups or whatever. I saw more than one individual bringing cups that they'd received in previous games and getting free refills with them, and it being acknowledged by the folks that were behind the stand. So anyway, very, very cool.
Nice. Hey, so just to chime in on that. So when I went to Kansas City,
Yeah.
they did a similar thing, but it was a little more nuanced. So there were only certain stations through the ballpark that you could go to for refills, and you almost had to like wink and slide them $1 or something like that, like a hey, I'm getting a free refill, don't look. But that's awesome that in Canada it's just kind of like this yeah, sure, you want a refill on your drink, get it.
Now, on as far as the game goes, the Blue Jays were in the World Series last year. It was really cool, obviously for them. So there's a lot of energy around the team. Back-to-back nights. It was a Monday and Tuesday night. Both games were virtual sellout crowds. Monday night was officially a sellout crowd. Yesterday was probably 90% full. So just a lot of energy around the Blue Jays right now as a team, which was fun to be in. It was fun to be in a stadium with just like a lot of just buzz and just a lot of people, and it was loud. And so ultimately, just really impressed with the whole experience. I think you get the convenience for a lot of people in the United States. Like you can get to Toronto, international city, fairly easily, and totally worth checking out if you're able to see your team in Toronto. That's like a double whammy. But at the same time, like just to go and I mean, they were playing the Mets. I'm not very interested in either one of those franchises, but but nonetheless, it was an interesting game to be a part of. Now, it was a part of game on Monday night opening. It was the weirdest leadoff home run I'd ever witnessed in a game, where George Springer worked a count 2-2, I believe, hit a bloop single, and it was the definition of a bloop single. And Juan Soto let the ball, because
Juan
it's
Soto.
artificial turf in Toronto, let it bounce, didn't play it straight on, played it off to the side, let it bounce over his glove, rolled to the outfield wall. He then loafed it all the way to the wall. AJ Ewing came over from center to get the ball. He then chucked the ball, booted the ball sideways, and by the time everything had settled, what was a bloop single had turned into a little league home run. Two things there. One, the official scorekeeper only gave out one error on the play, which was absolutely shocking. And two, I had multiple Mets fans around me for both game one and game two that I was there, and all of them agreed Juan Soto has lost the fan base in New York.
Oh.
And they all acknowledged. There was a guy I was talking to yesterday. He was like, he's a Hall of Fame player. He's going to have all the stats and he's going to be an all-star and all this other jazz. But he's like, all of it combined isn't enough for him to win back the fan base of the Mets. So I think that's just an interesting take, or just like perspective of talking to actual, people who are on the daily grind. That is like the Mets roller coaster, and, highest payroll in the National League, maybe in baseball, and their last place by quite a ways. So
Yeah.
it's very interesting. So
What was your take on so the thing that stuck out to me as I watched that play was how George Springer never stopped running.
he hustled. It was just a contrast. It was a contrast in effort.
Yeah.
You had two guys who George Springer, he's in the back half of his career, but he's just, he's hustling every time he takes the field. He's even, he's legging out, balls. Yesterday he legged out an infield single, just hustling. And again, the contrast can't be greater, because even there were two ground balls that Juan Soto hit in the two games that I saw where he basically walked to first base.
Yep, he's just trotting down the line.
Yeah, and so you're just like, and that's burned him pretty notably earlier in the season when, he was walking out of the box and the second baseman mishandled the ball and he would have been safe, but he started running only at the last third of the line, and you're like, yeah, man, like if you just play the game. I mean, he's already, like, again, he's going to be a Hall of Fame player if he stays healthy, and how much better could your career be? How much better could your career be if you were, actually playing the game the right way all the time?
Yep. Yep, absolutely. The other thing that stuck out to me with that was it was another game over the weekend where the Mets made like 6 errors in a row, or 6 errors in a game. And you're just like,
Yes.
at that point, like, what are you even doing? Like,
Right.
Mark Vientos, I think, had 2 or 3 errors. He's been a dumpster fire. Francisco Lindor's come back and has not played well. You got the whole Juan Soto debacle. And it was interesting. I was thinking through, Juan Soto came up with the Nationals, and another national, like you think of the tale of two nationals.
Yeah.
On the one hand, you got Juan Soto playing in the National League East, premier player, Hall of Fame caliber player, loaded with talent. One of the ingredients he lacks and gets cited for is lack of hustle.
Right.
The other national who plays in the National League East is Bryce Harper.
Yes.
They were both contemporaries. He plays with a lot of hustle, and the fans in Philly are always knocking him because he hustles too much. He runs into outs at second base, or he's aggressive on the bases. He's trying to, stretch a single into a double or go from first to third. And just like, okay, if we could balance both of those guys, balance the hustle of Bryce with the lackadaisicalness of Juan Soto.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you would have 2 fan bases, 2 players, 2 teams that would embrace those guys. And you're like, man, I feel like for both of them, in order for the fan base to fully embrace them, like Bryce to a certain extent has been embraced in Philly because of his heroics against the Braves a couple years ago, and the ring the bell mantra that came, and Bedlam at the bank. But I feel like for him to become a legendary Philly and for Soto to become a legendary Met, one of them needs to win a World Series.
Yes.
So, we'll see if either of them, the 2 extremes of hustle, we might say, if one of them is able to kind of bring a World Series to their team, and who is it? Like, I think the obvious pick, well, it would be Bryce Harper, right? Because he hustles and plays, quote unquote, plays the game the right way, but that's not always how baseball works.
No,
the Mets are a dumpster fire, but you look at, they fired their manager, Carlos Mendoza. They're trying to create a fresh start. They traded David Peterson away, and you're like, okay, are they able to generate some turnaround?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. No, it's going to be interesting to see how they play out. But again, like, they ended up winning. They split the, Blue Jays won game 1, Mets won game 2. Rubber match, which could be another topic here. Rubber matches today, game 3, Canada Day.
Oh.
Canada Day in Canada.
The lesser known 4th of July.
Tried to work the crowd a little bit and just see if we could understand what Canada Day is. And it doesn't even seem like Canadians know what Canada Day is. And so I did say this, and I'll just, we can just veer off topic just for 1 second, but it was, I just said, America's got so much weight on their shoulders as a country. Like, we don't need you piggybacking on the 4th of July because it just adds a little more weight to what we're already trying to do down here. So it's bad enough trying to hold up the whole Western hemisphere by ourselves. And so anyway,
Well, and as the potential 51st state, that there's always the possibility that maybe Canada Day gets absorbed into the 4th of July. Who knows? We'll see.
We'll see what happens. But anyway,
let's talk All-Star Game, because you watched some potential All-Stars this last weekend. Boy, oh boy. All-Star festivities coming up, less than 2 weeks away. I think the most interesting piece is who's going to be the starting pitcher for the National League.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's
so.
There's no
countdown.
Wrong.
We're going to go 3, 2, 1, and I want you to say who you think the starting pitcher for the National League is going to be.
Here we go. I'm not playing. I'm not playing Zach Wheeler.
Here we go.
Charades.
3, 2, 1.
The Miz.
Jacob Mizorowski.
The Miz.
Okay. So here's an interesting angle to this. Shohei Ohtani was scheduled to start, I think, either today or Thursday. His start got pushed back to Friday. Okay. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see what Dave Roberts is trying to do here, because here's some politicking at play. Dave Roberts is the manager for the National League All-Star team. So you've got the Shohei dynamic of this, because he's been good this year, right? Like in a year when Christopher Sanchez and Jacob Mizorowski aren't having career years, Shohei Ohtani's running away with starting the National League All-Star game. But now you put some intrigue into it, because I think the most deserving pitcher to start the National League All-Star game has to be Jacob Mizorowski. But you also have, the politic of Dave Roberts being the manager, but then you also have the politic of Christopher Sanchez starting potentially for his home crowd at Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's the factor that would probably, whatever they're doing with Shohei's fine. But that's the factor that gets me, is like, he needs to be like the home field kid, the hometown guy getting the nod on, and that's where all of a sudden Sanchez becomes a compelling argument. Just because you're in Philadelphia. And so
that'll be a fun dynamic to see how it plays out. Like we seemed like we had a pretty airtight American League All-Star starter for the pitching until last night. And the Tigers dropped the deuce on Cam Schlittler. And all of a sudden you're like, okay, maybe he doesn't start the All-Star game.
How many times have you voted in the
All-Star game voting?
Yeah.
I don't. It's a scam. They just want your information so they can send you copious amounts of emails and marketing stuff, and I don't vote.
Oh, that's funny, because I am filling out my ballot right now.
Jacob Mizorowski appreciates your support.
Absolutely he does. Absolutely he does.
So the other thing I want to bring up, so we'll push the Wilson Contreras angle out a little bit more, because I feel like that's going to develop over the next few days.
I am so ticked right now. Canada, everything I said about you, I take away. The fact that Alejandro Kirk is up with Shea Langoliers to be the starting catcher in the American League. Alejandro Kirk is batting 188 with 2 home runs, and count them with both your hands, 7 RBIs. And Dylan Dingler isn't even. What are we doing? What are we doing?
You and your flock of followers need to start voting for Dylan Dingler, apparently.
Nope. I'm voting for Shea Langoliers over Alejandro Kirk. I'm going to vote for Alejandro Kirk over Shea Langoliers, because baseball deserves that.
because the
My
poutine says
gosh.
so.
You got to be absolutely just kidding me right now.
So
Anyway.
we're gonna put aside the whole Wilson Contreras debacle. Have you heard about what they're doing this weekend with the whole Patriot Day thing on Sunday?
I have not, no.
Okay, so this really grinds my gears. This Sunday, we're having NBC is doing a Patriot Day. There's going to be 15 games played on Sunday, and all of them are going to be exclusive to Peacock with the exception of 2 games through the day. So basically they're doing like a continuous play. I think it's from like 1 o'clock all the way to like in the evening. And there's like half-hour overlapping start times. Like basically it's like a regurgitation of opening day from a couple years ago where they have like, each game start like a half-hour offset from each other. And I just want to throw out there, that is the most un-American way to watch baseball on Independence Day weekend. Subscription service with things starting every half hour.
Yeah.
Come on,
That's
man.
dumb.
Like,
yeah. We can do better.
The people want to watch baseball on cable television, not a subscription service, and not even a subscription service as bad as Peacock. Okay? Just put it out on, like, what do you do with the MLB TV subscribers? What do you do with, some of these people who have paid to access their local markets games? And you're basically like, for a incredible weekend of the year where everybody's going to be wearing these dope patriotic hats and all this other stuff, and you'll be like, oh nope, if you want to watch it, you gotta subscribe to Peacock.
Yeah, and then we'll get into this in a future episode, I'm sure, but then the home run derby going to Netflix.
Yeah.
I don't.
No bueno, MLB.
No bueno.
No bueno, MLBO.
Yeah, and so there's a lot there to unpack because again, it just doesn't seem. I don't know. It
seems like a miscarriage of
right.
justice, is what it seems like.
Yeah, leaves you a bad taste in your mouth.
Positive note to bring up for you. Have you looked at the National League East standings yet?
I know the Phillies are right there.
You know how it says, if you're driving a vehicle, you look in the side mirror and it says objects in mirror appear closer than they actually are.
Yes.
I just want to do a public service announcement for the Atlanta Braves and Atlanta Braves fans who listen to us. Just to give you a heads up, objects in the mirror are actually closer than they appear, because as of today, the first day of July, as we are over the halfway mark, the Phillies are, oh, by the way, 2.5 games back of first place. 2.5.
And that's right where they're supposed to be. The news story in the NL East is the Miami Marlins.
Well,
who are
that is
4.5 games back.
They're 4.5 back. And let's just look at the last 10 games. Atlanta's 3-7 over their last 10. Philly and Miami 8-2, 7-3.
You could tell the Atlanta Braves, Atlanta, a 1-2 lefty punch of Chris Sale and Tarek Skubal could go a long way to stabilizing what you got going on there in Atlanta.
Okay, so how would you feel about Tarek Skubal being traded for Ronald Acuna Jr.?
I'd feel really good.
Throw a crazy idea out there.
I'd feel really good about it, but I know that's not going to happen. So I'm a realist, but I'd feel really good about it.
How do you think Ronald Acuna Jr. would respond to playing on a team where he would be pinch hit for in the late innings when a right-handed reliever comes in?
He'd probably feel like Juan Soto running out a ground ball.
And he does run out ground balls like Juan Soto. So there's a lot of similarity there. Yeah,
he does. Anyway, no, the NL East is just a fantastic division. It's almost the it's like the antidote or the anti whatever to the AL West.
Yes.
The first place Texas Rangers
First place.
Yeah, and the Marlins of the AL West are the Athletics, and they are 4 games back at 40 and 46. So,
Yeah.
anything can happen.
And the other crazy piece, as we're thinking through the halfway mark of the season, who in their wildest dreams would have predicted that none other than the Chicago White Sox would have a 2-game lead atop the AL Central? I'll go on the record, that was not in my radar. My goodness.
No, good for them. They're figuring out, they're playing good ball. They got young stars that don't realize the paltriness of that franchise, and they're just playing good ball. So
it's flying in the face of the competitive balance argument right now to have the Tampa Bay Rays and the Chicago White Sox leading their divisions, and doing so
absolutely
in a remarkable way. Because you're like, do we need to adjust the competitive balance? Because yes, the Dodgers have a 12-game lead on all the other teams in the NL West, but you just got to get into the dance to win the dance. It doesn't matter what your lead is in the division. You just got to win the division or get a wild card.
Absolutely.
And so, that's something to talk through further as well in the coming days and weeks. Hey, this weekend, don't watch anything on Sunday. Don't give Peacock the recognition that they're seeking. Boycott them.
I'm looking at the schedule right now, and it really is infuriating when you look at that TV lineup. It's so dumb.
So, it'll be good, but 4th of July, as you're watching fireworks, you can watch some fireworks from the bats.
Congratulations, baseball, because again, I'm looking at patriotic matchups, and I've mentioned this before. It doesn't get more patriotic than St. Louis at Wrigley Field for the Cubs on 4th of July weekend. Way to go. Cardinals, Cubs this weekend. Watch that game on Saturday. It's 8:00 prime time. It'll run right into the fireworks. I mean, that feels American right there, and I like that a lot. The Sunday night baseball matchup is finally a rivalry matchup.
Oh,
finally. San Diego, LA.
Ooh.
And so that's really makes sense on paper if it wasn't part of the other, just the debacle of Peacock. But that's the game of the week.
Maybe your boy Justin Robleski will be pitching for them, for the Dodgers.
10 wins. 10-win Justin Robleski. 10.
Yeah. Maybe he starts the National League All-Star game.
And I still can't get a win in fantasy baseball in the last month and a half.
Well, the hats say it all, my friend. The Tigers have gone from great to not so great, and the Phillies are on the rise. And if you look at our fantasy baseball standings, there's a lot reflective of how our teams are doing based off of the hats that we're wearing today. So that's all I'm going to say.
It was a good day for me yesterday because Robleski was a stud, and then also Jacob deGrom was a stud. But regardless, other matchups, they're kind of vanilla. You got the White Sox can build on their lead against Cleveland this weekend.
True.
Other than that, I don't know. You got an ALCS rematch, Toronto at Seattle.
True. Fireworks going on there.
Yeah. Other than that, just going to watch your favorite team probably. And that's probably where we're going to hang out. So here's
the big question. Here's the big question. And we'll dabble in this for just, 30 seconds. Who is Wilson Contreras going to have an opportunity to get ticked off at this weekend? Oh, the Los Angeles Angels.
Yeah. Him and Zach Neto can go at it.
There, or Jorge Soler. I could see those guys getting into it. Maybe Nathan Shanuel. See him getting into it with him. We'll see. Chase Silseth has written all over him. Get angry at me. So we'll see.
We'll see what happens.
Hey, happy 4th of July to you, my friend.
Happy 4th of July to you, and to all of our listeners. 250th anniversary of America,
Yeah.
and we've been playing baseball almost more than half of that time, which is crazy.
Yep.
And so it's a good weekend for the country, and it's a good weekend for Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
And if you're not excited, you should be. So
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And just like Michael Kay would say when Jazz Chisholm hits a home run, it's out of here.
wow, that was classic. I love that. I love
something.
that. That
All
was
right.
so good.
We're
Hey,
done.
We're done. See you next time.